Welcome to the channel, everybody. Channel doesn't have a name yet. There may be a name by the time this is out. I would like to also turn this into some podcasts at some point. Try and speak with different people in the cycling industry, different people in general. Sorry, stuff going on the computer over there. All right, we're back. So, my name is Jeff Simpson. Been working in the industry for just as long as everyone else, 10 plus years. And yeah, got a lot of opinions on stuff. Both myself, some of my colleagues. So I want to kind of just get a platform for good old conversation. Conversation's good in regards to anything. Kind of drawing the format a little bit off of a podcast called Group Chat from Drama, Anand and D. Murthy. Incredible podcast. If you guys haven't listened to them, please do. They touch on everything from economics, finance, just fashion, everything. But they always have good conversations about stuff that's happening week to week, day to day, stuff like that. And in this particular instance, I'm here to talk about the recent Bicycling Magazine article in regards to tipping and what you should do to tip your bike mechanic. Personally, I don't like the article at all. I think it's kind of a crock of shit. I don't like how it's painted most bike mechanics as kind of these whiny, pay me more, give me tips, you should give me a cash tip type mentality. Just stuff. I don't like it at all. And I'm gonna give you a few reasons why. Definitely open for discussion. I'd love to touch on this more and more. Big credit out to James with PBMA. He did as much as he could given this situation of tipping and not making it sound like, hey, you need to tip everyone cash. Here's what you need to do. But that's kind of how the article came off. But yeah, James did a great job. I've got it pulled up here. I will throw a little screen grab of the article. I'll put the article below as well from Bicycling Magazine. But the whole basis and premise of it is you need to tip your bike mechanic and how to tip your bike mechanic and the proper ways to tip your bike mechanic. Personally, I can't stand it. All right, we're back, kind of. I don't know if that really helped at all. All right, we're back. So in this particular article, they do touch on tips, how to tip, what you should you tip, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't come off very good for the bike industry, personally. It makes us sound like a bunch of poor, woe is me, I picked the wrong profession, you should tip me cash kind of mentality. That's not the mentality we need to have going forward. So in this particular article, it says, hey, if you're going to tip the mechanic, tip them straight cash. Yada, yada, yada. The age-old tipping in cycling has always been beer. Beer. Personally, tip me in beer. I'd rather be tipped in beer than cash. Which we'll dig into in a little bit as to why I feel that way. But yeah, then they kind of go on to say that the average bike mechanic makes less than $30,000 a year, let alone anything else. So statistically, they're saying $28,390 a year, or about $13.65 an hour. In the same paragraph, they mention that is below the threshold to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. I'll kind of pause here real quick and dig in. If you are a bike mechanic, you're an inspiring bike mechanic, this is what you want to do. You need to know a few things off the bat. You're not going to make an incredible wage working as a bike mechanic. Is there room to grow with this? Absolutely. That is what James is here for. That is what that whole organization is here for. The association, I should say, is here for, to help grow this conversation. Let's try and make this a bigger, better thing for us mechanics, for the industry as a whole. But newbie mechanics, no, you're not going to make a ton of money. If the top guys are making $13.65 an hour, you're probably going to make less than that. You're probably going to make less than that for a little while, not just up front, but down the road. Just because this doesn't require a 4-year degree doesn't mean that you're not going to have to eat shit for 4 years to make a living. And then when you do get to that point, hey, unless you're a manager, $14 an hour, you can make it work. Yes, you're not going to have the fanciest stuff. You're not going to have the new car, the big house. But that's kind of the path you chose, right? It's the path we all have chosen, I guess I should say. But we walk into work every single day loving what we do, getting to talk bikes, getting to do and talk and get paid for something that we enjoy every single day. Minimum wage is going up. We'll see how that plays out on the economic end of things. Personally, if all these states and all these places keep raising the minimum wage to that $15 an hour, the magic $15 an hour mark, point, a lot of bike shops are going to go under. There's not enough margin. There's not enough revenue. There's not enough total profit, total dollars to pay people more, let alone newbie mechanics. It's not a thing. It's not how this is going to work out. It's not going to work out well for the bike industry, period, if this continues to happen. Should mechanics be getting paid more? Sure, why not? But at the end of the day, guys, we need to remember, we're not brain surgeons. We're not working on $100,000 cars. Yes, some of us do get to work on $10,000 bikes, $15,000 bikes. But a majority of us are working on $150, $200 bikes doing repairs every day. You think you're warranted more than $15 an hour? I think you're kind of drunk. Yes, there's technical skill involved. It's not that much. Let's be honest with ourselves, guys. Not downplaying our roles here, but it's a $200 bike. It's not an automobile. Just in regards to pay in general, if you feel like you're at a point where you need to throw a tip jar on the counter or in your software, I know Square software has an automatic tipping feature. You should probably turn that feature off. But if you feel like you need to have your tips, so you as an employer, and employers, I'm talking to you, if you as an employer need to feel like you need to have a tip jar on the counter or that tipping software in your, on your tablet for pay to help cover your employees, you need to look at yourselves then, personally. Yes, we've all gotten cash tips. We've all gotten beer tips. We've all gotten tips in general. Absolutely. Are they welcomed? Sure. Should you be going out of your way to strike that conversation? Hell no. Hell no. It should never be expected. One thing in life, bike mechanics, never expect shit. It's just in general, it's a life rule. The more you start expecting, the more upset and the more you're going to be bummed out about stuff in general, just point blank. It's just how it is. You start expecting all this stuff, it isn't going to work out for you. You're not going to be very happy at the end of the day. Trying to think here. Sorry, just scrolling through the article, touch on other points. Again, James doing a great job being a good advocate in the industry for trying to boost the industry as a whole for pay. But he does strike a good point. Tipping is awkward. It's not like a waitress where, you write it at the bottom of your check because she did a good job. We're not getting paid $2 an hour. Sorry, our counter's a mess today. We're not getting paid $2 an hour or whatever the waitress or server minimum wage is, depending on tips. We get paid by our employer. Never expect a tip from an employee or a customer. That's bullshit to pass that responsibility along to the customer. That should never happen. Again, employers, I'm talking to you. Don't put a tip jar out there. It's not good. You know, customer wants to bring beer in, or insert item here. Doesn't have to be beer. Not everyone drinks. Beer's the go-to. Don't bring beer. Bring lunch. Bring a gift card. But to throw a tip jar out there, kind of bullshit. Makes you look a little, like, come on. You know, I know a big topic was tipping baristas. Should you tip your barista? Me personally, no. Their job is to make me coffee. Did they make me coffee? Yes. They give it to me. That's it. That's what they got paid to do. Do you get a tip at your job for, you know, report or turning in that report or doing a spreadsheet? No, you did the job you were paid to do. If they go above and beyond, sure, maybe I'll give them $1 or $2. Whatever. I guess the same rule applies here, but mechanics, if you do get a tip, you know, by all means accept it. Again, I get it. We're all out here trying to make a living, but don't, just because you did that high-end repair, don't expect a fix. A fix. Don't expect a tip. I had the opportunity to work at a nice shop in Boulder, Colorado. Absolutely loved it. Best time of my life. Learned a ton under the head mechanic there. I noticed a few things in that equation though. Never got a tip. I shouldn't say never got a tip. I have very few tips in relativity to the amount of work we were doing and the amount of high-end work we were doing. We're not talking, you know, Hubbies and Schwinn's. We had numerous $10,000 plus bikes. You know, it's Boulder. It's a mecca of all things triathlon, all things cycling, all things mountain biking. We didn't get tipped that much, but you know what we did do? We did charge what was appropriate. We did charge what was expected, given the job and the work that we did. And guess what? The business was doing well, which also turned into us getting paid a fair wage. Shocker. You charge for the work you do, you can make more money as an employee, as a business. We are too used to giving stuff away. In this article, it mentions him going into Vecchio's and needing a crown race removed. Cool. That's whatever, $10 job, $15 job on average. Sounds like he did it for free. Problem number one right there. Should have just charged him $10. Look at that. You're $10 in already. Instead, the owner was tipped beer. Beer doesn't pay the bills. Beer is awesome. I love beer, but in the realm of your business, beer doesn't raise your revenue at all. It doesn't, obviously. Cash does. Charge for the work you're doing. You guys would be shocked as to how well things turn around. It just, I don't know, it kind of bugged me. I don't know what about it bugged me. It sounded a little whiny, like, hey guys, we need, instead of passing this responsibility of higher wages to the employer, it made it look and sound like we were passing it on to the customer. Never ever do that. Never pass that responsibility to the customer. Never leave a tip jar. Couple other things here. Industry-wide, we need to make a change. The fact that we're expected as shops to buy up front, obviously with dating, but buy up front a third to half of our yearly stock of bikes at a margin that barely covers operating costs. Something needs to change there. Something's going to give. I don't know if it's something like a PBMA or some type of other unionized I know the big union, scary word, something needs to happen. We're expected too much when half of these companies are selling direct online, when half of these companies are selling, we're dealing with competitors of consumer direct. It's only going to be a matter of time before companies like Amazon start digging into this thing. Like, it's coming, guys. And if you're not ready to evolve with it and roll with it, a lot of us, are going to get left behind. And that's not what we want. That's not what we need. That's not how we grow as an industry. And then in that conversation, kind of circling back around to tips a little bit, like, are you charging for what you should be charging? Customer comes in for a flat tire, $10 to change. Awesome. Should you expect a tip for changing someone's tire? No. As a customer, and yes, this is also for customers, from that point of view, should you tip your mechanic for changing a tire on the spot? No, he's doing his job. If you feel like they went above and beyond, by all means, knock yourself out. Otherwise, why? I would rather you save your $5 tip and come back in and see us again. Come back in and help us by purchasing a product from us that you could otherwise buy online. On that expectation roll, as an employee, shop employees, treat your customers who walk through that door every single day, treat them as if they were going to give you a $20 tip. You'd be shocked at how many more customers you're going to get on a daily, yearly, weekly basis coming through your door to purchase more of your small dollar high margin items. Our rule here at our shop and within all of our shops is make customers, not sales. Too many of you guys have a stick up your ass about making the sale, make the sale. No, let's sit down, let's talk through what bike you want. Let's make sure you get the right product. Let's make sure you get everything you're looking for. Don't make sales, make customers. Your business will flourish. Bike shops are dying daily. In our particular area, we have a shop that is going out of business or seems to be going out of business. It's the way they're making it sound. There's a few kind of hanging in, by a thread. That sucks. Competition is good for everyone. You can never have too much. Competition isn't a bad thing. That raises the level of the industry. And the ones who are weak are going to get chewed up and spit out and fall off, especially this day and age. If you're not evolving, you're going to get left behind. Specialized motto, innovate or die. Same applies to retail, guys. And gals, sorry. Do you tip your car mechanic? Do you tip your HVAC guy who, comes to fix your furnace? No, you paying them for the job they did. That's all. What is this? Why are we having this big tip conversation? And why, within that tip conversation, why are we singling out mechanics? What about the salesman who sold that $10,000 S-Works Venge or that new Project One, Damani? Why wouldn't you tip them? If we're gonna be on the tipping conversation, why doesn't everyone get a tip? Why is it only the mechanic? The salesman had to know all that. Yeah, they may not work on it, but they have to know all that stuff too. Again, never expect it. It's never going to turn out good. With that yearly income of less than $30,000 a year, newbie mechanics, listen up. Get ready to hustle. Get ready to side hustle. Get ready to grind it out, to try and make money outside of your shop hours. Within our bike shops, we have a pretty strict 40-hour work week. Sometimes less, closer to 30 hours, sometimes maybe a touch more in the summer, 40, 44 hours. Have you guys Googled what the average salary work week looks like? You're looking 50 hours, 47 to 50 plus. Guess what? That means that they're working more, they're making more money. Shocker. So you as a mechanic, you want to make it in this industry, quote unquote, make it in this industry and be in this industry for as long as you can and make a good living and afford the things you want to afford, because 1365 won't buy you everything you want. Be ready to hustle. There's so many other ways to make money out there right now, whether it's being an Uber driver. All right, say your car isn't up to snuff because we only make $13.65 an hour. Guess what? There's different things like Instacart, Shipt, making t-shirts. None of that stuff costs a lot. None of that stuff requires a lot of money to do. Instacart and Shipt, you can make a good chunk of change on the side. Going back to the hours conversation, if you're only working 35 hours a week, but the average salary worker is working 50 hours a week, don't complain about your $35 paycheck. Go out there and try and make up that other $15 an hour through something like Instacart or Shipt. Personally, that's what I do. The bike shop takes more than care of me. I am never, and I don't want this to come off as I'm complaining about my pay situation. I'm not. I know what I'm worth. I feel like I'm getting paid that. I'm happier than hell. But there's still stuff I want. The camera I'm recording this on, it didn't just appear out of thin air. You hustle, you get down, you work that 15 hours a week extra. You'd be shocked as to how comfortable you can live as a bike mechanic. You don't need to make a ton of money to live well. It just means you got to live within your means. I'm the last person to talk about that right now, going through my own stuff personally. But guess what? I've realized it. I've caught it. Trying to grow from that, trying to make those changes. And you, as a bike mechanic, need to have that expectation and make those changes to be able to work within this industry and still live a good life financially. Like I said, stuff like Shipt and Instacart. The way it's looking right now, I'll almost 1.5 times my income just from having an extra little side gig. There's no... The word side job used to be so demeaning and so derogatory about why would I get a side job? I already have a 35, 40 hour a week job, but I still can't pay my bills. So then go get a side job. So what? How many of us do it? All of us do it. All of us need to have another way to bring in some money. And don't pass that expectation to the customer for tips. You can make money elsewhere and be able to live a good life and be happy all the way around. It's I do like a couple of things again in the article, in regards to asking the service manager who worked on the bike, who figured out the problem. That is phenomenal. As a customer, absolutely, you should do that. You should reach out to the service manager, whoever it is in charge, and ask, who fixed the bike? Who was in charge of making sure this thing works well? The customer is going to get a better experience. You're going to get a happier customer at the end of the day. Customer experience is key. Customer experience is everything. I do have an issue with, if you're in doubt of how much to tip, 15 to 20% of the repair cost. What the fuck? Really? You guys, why are you, and again, we're getting ripped to shreds as an industry in these comments. We look like we're asking for handouts. We get paid by our employer. Don't accept it. I'm not saying don't accept a tip, but don't expect a tip. What the fucking hell are we doing? This one customer on the Bicycling Magazine article just straight up put, tipping's not a good idea. It becomes confusing to the customers as to how to properly compensate the staff. Holy crap, what do you do in that equation as a consumer? Who do you tip? Do you tip the service manager? Do you try and figure out what mechanic did it? It's just so confusing. I don't know. I think it sets a bad precedent. I feel like there's different things we can do as an industry to bring that conversation different ways. Charge, number one, charge for the work you're doing. Stop giving away everything. Even if it is that $10 flat repair. Guess what? That $10 times 10 or 20, that's a couple $100 more revenue. May not seem like a lot. We're working with razor thin margins as it is. A couple $100 could be make or break for you. Awesome. Run that money through the till. High tide raises all ships type of mentality. Not this woe is me, I need a handout type shit. This is where we're getting to as a society. We need to get away from it. Never expect it. Keep grinding, keep working. You will get paid. If you're good at what you do, you will make the money you're deserved. If you feel like you are amazing and you're this hotshot mechanic or whoever, not even mechanic, just hotshot whoever, and you're not making the wage you feel as if you deserved, go somewhere else. Get a different career. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, again, I know for myself personally, within my position, I'm capped. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy as hell. I get to do something I do every single day that I absolutely love and adore. Helping customers get into cycling, getting the community behind cycling, getting more people on bikes. I'm not mad I'm capped. No, I know I'm more or less capped. So I am doing what I can to supplement my income. Working that extra 10 hours a week can make your life massively different. It can change your financial situations overnight. And it doesn't take a lot. If you have a car, you can do shipped. As long as you don't have a felony. If you have a felony, you can't do shipped or Instacart or something like that. So I think that's all. I would like to do this more. I plan on doing it more. Just kind of a 30-minute sit down bullshit. Let's talk, unfiltered, behind the curtain type stuff. Whether it's different products, different anything. This particular topic with tipping just happened to start this whole thing off, and we'll see where it ends up. If you have any questions, any concerns, comments, comment below. I'll answer anything I can. If not, cool. I've noticed nobody on my post to the PBMA page, nobody's commented anything on it. Weird. Everyone's got a real big mouth about tipping, but until some of the truth comes out, people want to shut up real quick. I don't know. I don't get it, guys. We as an industry are better than this. We need to do better than this. We need to be better than this. On that note, I think that's all I got for you on this Sunday, February 24th, 2019. We'll catch you this week. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know when. Peace.